Welcome, Aries, to your July 2025 in-depth reading. We're going to be going much deeper than I do with my all signs, and you are very welcome here. I'm so excited about the energy coming up. This is the beginning of an all-day live stream. I'm going to be going live for all 12 of the signs individually, and we will be pulling cards for you guys and making sure you really understand the energy. So let's dive into the first part of your reading, Aries. In the heart of your spread, we have the Five of Fire. Look at that. Fire energy for Aries. I love it. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. That's okay, because that's basically showing that you've chosen to take on some new responsibilities, and you're finding that other people are not so happy about the choices you are making. Remember that when we decide to follow our heart, when we decide to charge ahead forwards, other people might get a little intimidated by that, and they might challenge you. They might say, hey, but you're always there for me for lunch on Tuesdays, and now you're busy with that new class you're taking or that new project, and I don't like that you're ignoring me. Well, there are ways to have conversations about that. There are ways to handle this energy so that it's kind and compassionate, but they are acknowledging your spiritual team, which is your angels, your spirit guides, passed away loved ones, ascended masters, spirit animals. They're working with you behind the scenes to help you understand where you need to head next, and they are acknowledging that you're really fired up about these new pathways you are taking, especially when we get to July. I am recording these messages early so that you have a time to watch them. So let's see what's coming up in the crossing energy here. The challenge energy that we're seeing here is this Three of Air card here. So it says great sadness, time to take time to heal, and the need to forgive yourself or others. Well, this makes perfect sense with the heart of your spread being the Five of Fire. There have been some emotions flying around. There's been some criticism of the path you're taking, maybe some hurt feelings. I do feel like some of you have gone through some big relationship changes, especially since this past full moon we had in June. And it's time for you to focus on healing yourself, forgiving others for the things that they said in a way that was hurtful, and just moving on towards the things you want. So these two cards together are really showing me that it's time for you to move on from something, some kind of past relationship, some kind of dynamic within work where you were letting others get in your way in a way. It's not that you intentionally did it, but they were playing with your emotions, and they were saying things to you in a way that was hurtful, causing you to just really feel like, I don't know why I'm doing this. So very interesting crossing energy there. Let's go into the subconscious so we can see what else is coming up for the Aries in July. This is the energy that we are unaware of as we go into July. Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or broken. Boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. So basically they're saying that what you're not aware of is in July, you are going to have an opportunity to move away from these hurt feelings, these conversations that were difficult, and you're going to be focusing on something that your heart really wants. So the thing to think about in July are, what are the things that motivate you? What are the things that help you get out of bed in the morning? And what are the things that you're just kind of over? You're kind of bored. The energy is stale there. Well, this is your subconscious and your higher team, your higher self saying to you, hey, there's an opportunity to take things to a new level, to get excited about something again, especially in July. In July, we are going to be going through beginning of retrograde season. We also have Uranus moving into Gemini. So it's going to be an opportunity to really think about the things that you feel really excited about. That's why I feel like in the heart of your spread, it's like there are so many opportunities for you to really invest in what your heart wants, and others are, saying to you, well, you can't do this and that, and you're saying, but I'm just tired of doing it the old way. So with retrograde season, it's always an opportunity to review anything with an RE. Go back and look at things you've done so far this year, or even since this time last year, July 2024. What have been some of the big changes, and what are the things that you're not really that excited about anymore? That's a big thing to keep in mind, Aries, because you're such an in-charge, fiery sign that it's important you are allowing your fire to burn and grow and be passionate. If you're dimming your light for people around around you because of hurt feelings or them feeling like you're leaving them behind, you're going to end up not seeing these new opportunities. So this is kind of it's a really positive card coming up in the subconscious, but it is also a reminder, hey, don't focus on the past, focus on the things that excite you about the future. So that's really, really positive coming up. Let's see what happened in the recent past, or probably going on right now since this past full moon for you guys, so that you can prepare. At the time I'm recording these messages, we do have a new moon coming up in the next 24 hours. So it's going to be time to start some things new. You can go ahead and take action on these messages. In the recent past, we have this 7 of Earth card. Seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. Oh, this is really wonderful here. It means that you have been working towards these new goals. I'm getting so much energy for you guys, Aries, about things that you've started, and people kind of almost distracting you. They're trying to distract you from moving forward with these things, but you have planted these seeds. So this is your team letting you know it's okay if you've had to have these challenging conversations, you've been in conflict with others about things, because you did plant the seeds. They're there for you. Of course, it takes patience. It takes time for these things to sprout, but you've already planted them. I'm getting that probably with the new moon in Taurus is when you really started to invest your time and energy in something your heart wants. And that's often because you don't even realize you were doing it, that because you were bored, right? That's the other thing, is maybe you thought you were planting these seeds for one reason, and then you're starting to realize like, oh, I am so glad I did that. But wow, look at the way other people are reacting to this. So I think that's really fascinating coming up. And don't forget that with our crossing energy here, we want to make sure we are taking all the time we need to work on our own healing, our own self-love. So let's see what's coming up in the present energy for everybody here. In the present energy, we have the moon card, Archangel Haniel. I was just talking about this new moon we have coming up in the next 24 hours. Today is June 24th. We have Sun conjunct Jupiter later today, and we have the new moon early tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a really, really positive time to add to these investments. So since you have this moon card, I mean, you literally can't make this up. It says important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears holding you back. Right now, at the time you're hearing these messages, it can be mid-July that you're hearing these messages. There is something that you have to let go of to be able to really move forward, but you got to listen to your intuition. So with this card being in the root of your spread, this missed opportunity card, and this being in the crown of your spread, it's letting you know that if you listen to your intuition, you will not miss this opportunity. You will see where you can continue to grow these seeds that you've already planted, which are there waiting for more energy and more love. So let's see what's coming up in the near future for the Aries. For the Aries in the near future, we have release, Archangel Azrael, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So yeah, basically they're saying that once you get clear on the things that you're just not that into anymore, you're kind of bored with it, and you start focusing on the things in your environment right now that get you excited, you're going to realize, okay, it's time to move on. Now, I always remind everybody that you want to think about these 3 areas in your life when you're listening to these messages. Relationships, which is, of course, not just romantic. This is friends, colleagues, bosses, parents, children, right? Siblings. You also want to think about your health and fitness. What are your goals there? What are some things you want to work on? And then, of course, your finances. This could be career. This could be your budgeting. This could be your investing. And if you're retired, it could be the legacy you're leaving behind, right? So these are big things that are coming up for you guys. And I want you to think about that as you take a look at this release card here, because it is going to be super valuable if you really start thinking right now, what are the things that I'm kind of ready to turn my back on. I'm ready to move on from these things, and it's going to really help you understand what are the things that need to be released. So again, get clear on the things that are not exciting you anymore. I always like to remind you to listen to your body too. Like if there's a lunch date on the calendar, or there's something you're planning to do this weekend and you're just kind of dreading it, go deeper with that. Ask yourself, what am I really dreading about this? Because it does talk about releasing fears that are holding you back in the moon card here in the present energy. Sometimes we're dreading something just because we're feeling a little vulnerable about it. We're not sure. It's the first time we've done it. It's a little bit outside of our comfort zone. But it's always important to look to see where can we find these new opportunities. And these new opportunities may be coming a little bit outside our comfort zone. So let's see what's coming up in the personal power energy here. We have the Empress card. Archangel Gabriel, lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. So you really, this is your personal power here. You can't let anybody else hold you back. This heart of your spread card here, where it's conflict with others, you're ready to give birth to these dreams, to these new ideas. You've planted the seeds here. So your personal power comes from focusing on the things that your heart wants to do. Giving birth to those dreams is where you get your power. It may mean that you have to deal with a little bit of this conflict, a little bit of people saying things in a tactless way and trying to tell you can't do that, you're not ready, you don't have the resources. But that's not what this card is saying. This card is saying you do have the resources. Remember, they come from within, and you can always ask your spiritual team for help. So I want you to use the pocket affirmation in July. I easily follow my heart. Use that pocket affirmation, Aries. Write it in the comments section below if it resonates with you. I easily follow my heart. That way, if you find people are still trying to tell you can't do that, you don't have time, this is not making sense, and maybe you're even realizing, this is a little out of my comfort zone. When you follow your heart, it's going to make you have a lot of personal power when it's time to move on from something. I am getting, for a lot of Aries, this is moving on from a relationship that is kind of stale. And it's not that you're totally letting the person go if that doesn't resonate with you. Obviously, we're all different in where we are in different relationships and where we are in our life, but just a relationship dynamic where maybe you're always calling someone and telling them your plans, and you're changing that. Now you're choosing not to tell them about the seeds you've planted until you've been able to give birth to that idea. It is important that we protect what we're creating. So those naysayers out there in your life, the people who are always, trying to slow you down because they feel like what you're doing isn't practical, this is where the moon card comes in big time. Listen to your intuition and be really careful with people who are trying to slow you down, okay? It doesn't mean that they don't love you and they're not offering you. There might be some really good words of wisdom there, but you want to listen to your intuition about that before you take action on what they're saying. So let's see what's coming up in the external factors for Aries in July. Whoa, 6 of fire, victory, good news is on its way, public recognition. I love this in the external factors. I just got angel bumps all down my left side because basically you started with this 5 of fire card here in the heart of your spread, but during July, you're going to look around and you're going to see people recognizing the way you are on your path. Isn't that a beautiful card to have for external factors? So take time in July to look around you and go, okay, where am I being recognized in my world? Am I giving myself credit for the work I'm doing? And you want to surround yourself with people who are recognizing your achievements. Again, the naysayers, the people who are trying to slow you down. I mean, Aries, when you make a decision about something, you are very powerful if you take action and you take charge. But you need to also look around the people who are with you. And one of the big messages I've been getting for Aries over the last couple of months is, remember, this time you're actually taking people with you, people who recognize your talents, people who see the light within you. Those are the people you're surrounding yourself with, and those are the people who are going with you on this new journey, because again, you are going to be moving on from something in July, Aries, and you're going to be surrounding yourself with people who really appreciate you, who look to you for leadership and guidance. So I'm loving that. More angel bumps down my back. We are going to go do some clarity cards here in a minute with some other decks, but I love getting this overall spread for July. We'll go week by week here as well. But let's look and see what's coming up in the hopes or fears of this. We have the 8 of air. So I call this card the two sides of the same coin card. You can both hope for something and also kind of be afraid of it. It's like fear of success versus fear of failure. And it says an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. So basically you are going to have to speak up, especially when it's time to move on. And there's a little bit of fear that let's just use the example that you're going to put your two weeks notice in with your boss. You're like, hey, I'm not getting recognized, right? 6 of fire. I'm not being recognized for all the work I do. I haven't been given the promotion I asked for. And you're afraid your boss is going to go, well, you can't quit on me right now. I need you. You can't do that to me. But you could also be hopeful for that too, because it could be, well, then, okay, then show up, put your money where your mouth is. Give me that raise, give me that promotion, show me where I can be recognized for the things I'm doing. Or it could just be that have you ever dreaded having to tell somebody something like that? I know I'll never forget the first time I had to put my 2 weeks notice in for my first official job. I chose to leave my job at a major bank and go out on my own as a small business consultant in my early 20s. And the waiting to tell my boss was way harder than the actual telling. And that's kind of what this card is saying now. It's like, oh my gosh, I just want to get this over with. What is she going to say? And it's like, it's just an illusion. They can't make you stay, but they might actually say something that changes your mind. And maybe that scares you too. Maybe there's part of you that's like, oh, what if they make such a good offer that I end up staying and that's not what I meant to do? Well, that's where that moon card is going to come in for you guys. Okay. And I'm just using the example of a job. This could be a relationship. This could be a dynamic in your neighborhood. Maybe you're part of a group of people and you're ready to start spending time with a different group of people who actually recognize your gifts, right? That's a big one coming in for Aries. So let's get to your final outcome so we can do some clarity cards and then we'll go week by week for you guys, Aries. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget, you can also sign up for my free newsletter at devondoer.com and get my free ebook, Is It a Sign? How to Recognize Signs and Discover Their Meaning. And this will help you get even more clarity with this. It's totally free to download if you just sign up for my free newsletter. It's linked below at devondoer.com. All right, so the final outcome card we have, I have to switch the camera here so you can actually see it. We have the Unity card. It says traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual, I'm covering it up there, spiritual organizations, and seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So here we go. This is the validation right here. The key thing is to look around in your environment. Spend July doing it. You don't have to take action on it because we are going to be in that retrograde energy in July. Let's see, what goes retrograde? I know Saturn and Neptune, I believe. Uranus moves into Gemini. Mercury goes retrograde on July 17th and will be retrograde through August. So take your time, but it's a good time to review and go, wait, who in my environment is not on the same path? And when I say like-minded, it doesn't mean that they have to think the same thing as you, that they have to believe the same thing, but it means that they understand that you're on your own journey, right? And so earlier when I was talking about, maybe there's a group of people that you always spend time with and you're moving away, okay, moving on. It's because you want to be surrounded by people who recognize your light. So I really feel this spread is encouraging you to listen to your intuition throughout July. Focus on those external factors that support you and let go of the things that are bringing in conflict here. Here, I'm going to make sure you can see this crossing energy here so we can pull some clarification, and then we will go week by week. All right, so first clarification card I have coming up for you is we have the Thunder Mountain card. Ooh, I love this card. I always get butterflies in my stomach when I see this. It says, let it bounce off. So basically it's letting you know that when you share your plans to move on from a group of people, from a job, from a relationship, there are going to be things that people say that maybe don't come off as very loving. Let it bounce off. That's what this card is letting you know. It's saying, hey, you've got to focus on where you're headed. All right. You're moving on from something and not everyone's going to like that, right? It could be as simple as like you are resigning from a job and your best friend that you eat lunch with every day is like, well, now I'm going to have lunch with, you're abandoning me, right? And it's not that they're not happy for you, but it kind of hurts because it's like, well, I just want you to not make me feel guilty. I want your support in this. So again, we're looking for ways to let certain things bounce off of us. I do feel like, with the current energy the way it is, it's going to be really important we're not taking everything straight to the heart, okay? Because there's emotions flying all over the place. When we are in retrograde season, especially Mercury retrograde, people tend to blurt things out in ways that don't always come out the right way. They shoot off a text before they reread it and make sure it sounds better. So just be careful with that. And let's see what else we have for clarity cards here for the Aries. We have this card here. Ooh, beautiful card here. I love this deck. I just got it. It says the owl and well, I'm not reading the Hoy. Is that what it says? I don't have, it's hard for it to focus for me. I was trying to get it to focus. But anyways, it says wisdom. So that's going to be your clarity card there for this spread. You have the inner wisdom to know what direction to head as long as you are listening to your intuition. Okay, Aries, that's going to be the key thing. External factors, people flying around saying you can't do this because of that. Did you see that headline? That's gonna affect what you're trying to do, or you can't leave me behind. You can't do these things. Go into your inner wisdom. All right. And I am getting to that. It feels like there are going to be new people coming in for you, Aries, that they're going to guide you a little bit too. They're going to have gone through what you went through. In fact, maybe it's a good idea to go ahead and look for people on YouTube who have done what you're doing, get advice, right? We have so many things available to us on YouTube that can help us get information. So it doesn't even have to be somebody you actually know in your life. But as far as clarity goes, I'm really loving the fact that this is reminding you that as information comes in, you need to let it bounce off and trust your inner wisdom, okay? All right, let's pull a card for each week for you guys, so that'll help you break down the energy even further. You guys are my first live I'm doing today. I'm so excited to be doing this live marathon. I'm going to be doing a video for every single sign. So when we wrap up your reading, we will be going on to Taurus after a short break. And I do encourage everybody to, listen to all 12 signs, because we have all 12 signs in our chart. We are not just our sun, moon, and rising sign. Because you're my first video, you're getting this little experiment of doing these week signs. I might have to abandon them if they end up getting in the way. But let's see, what is the first week of July going to look like for Aries? Ooh, we have the Three of Fire. Beautiful. Goals, expansion, vision. And we still have planets direct in the first week here. So I am loving that. Remember, you've already planted the seeds, and your personal power comes from that Empress card, right? Following your heart, giving birth to what you really want. And it looks like you might even have some help. These new people coming in, you're going to be collaborating. It could be collaboration with your spiritual team. So that's a beautiful card for the first week of July. So you're going to want to really invest in your heart's passions this first week of July. Let's see what's coming up for the second week of July. We have the Eight of Water card, searching, empowerment, fulfillment. I love that card there. So basically it's letting you know that there is, again, something you're moving away from. Remember, we had that Four of Cups in the subconscious. You may not even be aware, but you're going to have some clarity by the time we get to the second week of July, where you're like, I am bored with this. I do want to do something different. I do want to move on. So it's probably going to be around week 2 that you're actually taking these actions. We still will be, coming off of that new moon. I don't remember exactly when the full moon is. I should have written that in my notes. But between this new moon that we have on June 25th and the full moon in July, you're going to have this realization and you're going to be ready to start releasing things. So keep an eye out for that for the second week of July. For the third week of July, Aries, we have the Three of Air card. Okay, so that was also in your challenge energy, sorrow, forgiveness, healing. But this is actually, I'm feeling good about this card. These are, I always look at it from the perspective of you're being given a heads up here. So in week 2, when you choose to move on from something or you make it known, you might be hearing from people in week 3, right? By that point, we probably will be pretty heavily into the retrograde season. And so people might be responding to the fact that you've resigned, or to the fact that you've chosen to move, or the fact that you've let people know about your new plans. And you might be getting this information. Protect the things you're creating. Remember, don't tell people about the things you're doing who you know are going to be naysayers, that they're going to be negative, that their glass is half empty. So let's see what's coming up for week 4. Let me know in the comments if you can see see these signs too, because like I said, you're my first video doing it with these little signs here. Okay, so week 4, we have the World card, accomplishment, celebration, competition, which of course competition is a good thing. Competition means you're doing something right. So yeah, you're going to be moving away from something. You're going to be getting out into the world in a bigger way, Aries. And week 4, it's going to be all you, okay? Like, you've said the things you need to say. You've gotten the responses from the people you need to get, and it's time for you to go out into the world with your projects, with the things you're giving birth to your dreams. You're finally, investing in that home. You're finally investing in that project. You're finally doing the things that your heart wants to do. So I love that for week 4 there. Let's switch over to week 5 here, to the camera so you can see it, and then I'll let you see it, pull it all together here. We have the 10 of water. Look at that. I love this cup for week 5, Aries. And of course, week 5 will be blending into August as well. So this is a really, really positive week. It's, emotional fulfillment, love, blessings. So when you get out there in a bigger way in the world, you are going to find that you are really, really getting the rewards, and it's going to be emotional rewards. So we had that 4 of Cups in the root of your spread for the Celtic cross, but by the time you get to the 5th week of July, Aries, you're going to have the benefits of moving on, protecting your projects. There is something that you're moving away from that is going to lead to more happiness than you could even ever imagine. So I love that for the Aries. I'm just going to pop it on the screen one more time here. I'm not sure if these signs are going to work for everybody. I wanted you guys to be able to take a screenshot so you'd have it on your phone for all of July. But just remember, let's see, does that work for everybody? Yeah, we'll do that. If this message has resonated with you, I'd sure appreciate a like. Share this video with anybody. I'm going to be back in just a few minutes for the Tauruses. But again, I really appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button if this resonates with you. And I will see you on the next one. Don't forget, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, Chris Reck from Minnow Pond is right back on my channel. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.